All right, in the last video, we talked about the magic of compound growth and how investing early and often is so crucial to building wealth, but it was still very abstract. There's still just numbers. And so the question is, how do you turn those numbers into real, actual money? And so here's that compound growth chart. You can see investing $500 a month for 40 years turns into almost $3 million. But again, those are just numbers. What does real life look like? Well, this is the actual US stock market. This is the last stock market of the last 120 years or so, or just over 100 years. You can see the Great Depression, Black Monday, the dot-com crash, financial crisis, and the COVID crash there. It's a little bit hard to see back here, back in the the 20s, the Great Depression. You can't even see because it's so small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this chart to a logarithmic chart. So this is the exact same data. It's the exact same stock market, but instead of being a linear scale over here, it's logarithmic, which means a 10% drop in the 1920s looks the same as a 10% drop today in terms of the scale on the chart. And so you can see the Great Depression actually was the worst financial crisis in our American history. But even with all these crashes, this green line, which is the return of the US stock market, stays pretty darn close to the red line, which is a constant 10% rate of return. And so if you pick any two spots on this green line, 10 or 20 years apart, you're going to get pretty darn close to a 10% return. Of course, you could pick like the worst day to invest and the worst day to start investing, the worst day to stop investing. But even if you did that, real investing isn't just putting in a lump sum of money on one day and then not doing anything for 40 years. It's generally investing early and often. And so let's say I did invest right at the top of the market here, right before the Great Depression. Most of my investing would be happening down here over the next 10 years. Then my entire career would be this massive run up. I'd probably get greater than a 10% rate of return. So this is the US stock market. This is like how the stock market has returned on its whole about 10% return over the last 100 years. And so the next question is, okay, which stocks do you buy? I think you probably know that a stock is like buying a little piece of a company. So for example, if I bought some Apple stock, I would be a part owner of Apple. And I would be due a share of their profits as paid as dividends to me. And so should I buy Apple, or what about Netflix or Amazon or Google? There's literally thousands of different stocks you could buy. And so which ones do you buy if you want to get that 10% rate of return? And so I'm going to turn that question around and on you and give you a pop quiz. Did you know there's quizzes? Well, there is. There's one at least. Here's the pop quiz. And the question is, moving forward, which is the best individual stock to buy? Is it Apple? Is it Google? Is it Tesla? Is it Amazon? Is it another company not listed so far? Or do you not know? You can pause, you can think about it, and I'm going to tell you my answer right now. The answer is, in my opinion, I don't know. Ooh, I think I may have forgotten one. But there's the answer. It's I don't know. Maybe that wasn't fair because I didn't show you that option. But I did say it, so, you got to stay on your toes. The answer is I don't know because of one really important concept about the stock market, and that is that the stock market is efficient. The sum total of public human knowledge is constantly and instantly being priced into every stock in the stock market. So, for example, if you think Amazon is the best stock and it's going to provide the most value going forward, everybody else knows that too. And so if you buy a share of Amazon, you're not buying it at the current price or the current value of the company. You're buying it based on what someone else is willing to sell it to you for. And so you have to pay so much until they decide, okay, you have too high of expectations for Amazon. I'm willing to sell at that price. And so to illustrate this, in the next video, we're going to look at buying a share of Tesla stock and what you're up against and who else are the players in this market and why that causes the efficient market. I'll see you there.